Hi there, knife people. Hello, lady and gentlemen. These pouches belong to Hawk Talon knives that are currently at my house. This video is offering you a unique opportunity to look at two knives side by side from this custom or small batch production manufacturer. We'll at least partially disassemble and we'll see how it goes. Maybe do a full disassembly video on one of these knives. The reason I need to partially disassemble them is I want to extract the blades so I can test them on my Rockwell benchtop tester, which is an industry standard tool for measuring blade hardness. However, the disclaimer right up front, because I'm only testing two knives, that does not constitute an industry standard quality control procedure. I will also point out a feature that nobody mentioned yet. Somehow it was missed by most reviewers, maybe because they don't do hard testing on the knives. Most people are familiar with the concept of paying more for less or less for more. In the case of Hawk knives, you're paying more for more. How about that for a concept? You've already seen this deadlock on my channel, even the insides of it. And I just brought it here to explain why I picked this one for my personal collection. You see, this one also has a copper Damascus-y looking that carbon fiber topographic pattern, and this one also has copper embedded raindrop pattern. I'm hoping little patina just like this one did. See how nice and patina the copper is? And this one is brand new. I'm lucky to bring two Hawk Talons for your viewing enjoyment today. And I'll get into the reasons why I have two in a minute. All in all, I've inspected or examined 4 of these knives. None of them were a disappointment, although I think these are slightly different, or they run slightly different from the early pre-order batch. And what I mean by that, they run a little smoother, close a little faster than the earlier ones. Before I literally get inside this knife, I would like to talk about some things that a lot of reviewers talk about, and I agree with some and disagree with some of their findings, conclusions. So I'll start with the fidget factor. Absolutely, this is one of the fidgetiest knives in the market, contrary to what you might have heard, or is it contrary? Operating it using thumb studs. Once in a blue moon, I forget it's not a Benchmade, and instead of jabbing it in there, I try to do this or that, and that doesn't work. You kind of have to jab it in and be assertive. Those are actually not thumb studs, they're stops, as you've seen from a dozen videos or so. And the primary method of opening is this front flipper, which resembles the Talon, you know, to go with the name. Another thing people talking about are the sounds it makes. And mentioning that probably the only knife in the market that makes these pleasant sort of bolt-action rifle sounds. I would disagree with that too, because here's the Demco, this is Taiwanese version of AD20.5 in titanium and 3V. Let me actually put it down for size comparison. As you can see on the Talon, the blade to handle length ratio is a little better balanced than on any Demco. This is just Demco's signature. Their blades look a little bit shorter than your eye or mind's eye desires, by about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. And here's the full-size Demco AD20, US made, machine ground. And to get the same blade length or cutting edge length, maybe just a hair longer than on the Talon, you are paying price in the about 3/4 of an inch longer handle. The weight difference is also immense. It's almost twice as heavy as the Talon that weighs right around 4 ounces. Another thing everybody is talking about is whether or not they like this pocket clip. This pocket clip is kind of a point of contention for me, because I think I fall into the camp of people who think the clip should have been a little bit more elegant and allow carrying the knife maybe a little deeper in the pocket, or maybe not be so hard to extract from the pocket without remembering to actuate the lever here. News update from future me. I've been carrying the Talon for a few days now. maybe 4 days in a row. And then this morning I switched to a different knife. And I noticed when I go to get the knife out of the pocket, my hand is automatically trying to pinch the clip to extract it. In other words, it's doing automatically what I've been doing with this knife for a few days. It became a second nature. I'm still not sure how much I like this feature, but to be honest with you, I'm kind of getting used to it, and it's growing on me. It's a very fine piece of machined titanium, several pieces actually, and there's a spring housing. I mean, there's a lot going on there, but it's a level of complexity that I don't really, how do I say, not that I don't care for it, it's just like I could live without it. I'm definitely not trying to start any controversy, but I would like to hear from you guys in the comments. What do you think? I'm not going to bore you with a lot of comparisons, but there's one more that kind of is begging to be shown. This is a Hinder Maximus dagger that kind of has the same combative aesthetics as the Deadlock, very similar. And then ZT collaborated with Rick Hinderer, and they came up with their Maximus version. This is ZT model, what do we got? 393, model 393, and I'm pretty sure they call it Maximus, and it's a Hinderer collaboration. So they took this style and they sort of curved it out and made it a little more EDC friendly. And these two knives are very comparable to Hawks. This is very, very rare find nowadays, but fear not and don't go ahead and pay Hawk prices for this knife, because sooner or later Rick will reinstate it and make a production run. I guarantee, because he's done it with everything else. One more maybe final criticism, maybe not. We'll see when we open the knife. This is what it comes with in the packaging. To complement Gavin Hawk, he made the pouch in West Virginia. We all appreciate all American components and keeping all our American workers employed. It comes with the card that is not either a birth certificate or certificate of authenticity. It just doesn't say anything about materials, date of manufacture, hardness, none of that. There's a little sticker. I don't know what the story is with the lip balm that comes with every Hawk knife. Lemon mint for this knife. I don't know if he suggests we lubricate the mechanism with it or just, you know, stay with the unchopped lips. And there's a disassembly tool for this pivot. So what is this mysterious functionality or feature that I mentioned earlier in the video? The reason I have Spyderco UK pen knife here, it's a non-locking knife, but it's a very safe knife, because when you fully grip it here, even if you got your blade stuck and it unlocked or went out of position, it will not close on your hand, because this immense finger choil ends up pinching against your index finger and prevents the blade from closing. Well, even if this lock completely fails as you use this knife, the same will happen here. As you can see, if I unlock it right now and move the blade, it ends up pinching my index finger when it's in this immense curve. I don't know if it's even called a choil, it's just a finger placement curve here. So right there, there's no way for it to close on your finger. Whether it's by design or by accident, I tend to think that it is by design, because the knife is extremely well engineered, and I will prove it to you when I do the disassembly reassembly video and get into every little nitty-gritty detail. For now, as you can see, it didn't take me long before I used the tool, as well as my Hoto multi-bit driver and a small metal punch. The disassembly and reassembly of this knife is not extremely complicated, but it did challenge my mechanical aptitude, as you will see from disassembly reassembly videos that are coming up soon. Suffice it to say, for now, on the day that you do decide to disassemble and reassemble this knife, don't drink too much coffee and remain calm, cool, and collected, and it will go just fine. What we're going to do next is have a heart-to-heart with these knives. The heart of a knife is the blade, and the soul is the cutting edge. So let's take a close look. The knives are brand new out of the package. I only cut one sheet of note paper with a brass-handled one, and the blue one remains intact. Let's get up close and personal with those edges. And to do this, I'm using my very inexpensive microscope / camera that I got from Amazon. Even though I purchased it to do this kind of videos, it became a very indispensable tool in my sharpening, because I look at the edges, I sharpen it now all the time. You will see why in a second. It has USB-C connector and comes with its own app. I added these little legs here just for my own convenience, but you can get it with a base or without the base, just as a handheld. See how much easier it makes my life. So I'm going to start with the tip here. Very pointy. There's almost no radius at the tip. Nicely executed tip. This has 3 brightness settings. I usually end up looking at the lowest setting, otherwise there's just too much reflectivity. We are looking at a very well executed edge. There's some striations and evidence of stropping, but it's not over strop. Let me show you the apex. Rolling it straight onto the camera. See, there's no line in the middle. Let me see right here. It's just a crisp break between the shade. There's almost nothing in between. A very crisp break between the two sides. And another thing to look at here, look how symmetric the two sides of the secondary bevel are. Same angle on both sides of the edge. Very awesome. And we're going to look at the sharpening choil area. You know what? It's easier to do on the detached blade. So wipe that off. Let's try that. Let's see. This one, tip is a little bit more rounded, so evidence of a little more stropping than the blue knife. But let me get to a better spot. Let's look at the apex on this one as well. Really good. There's basically all the burr has been removed. This one has been properly honed and stropped right there. Or maybe they just went straight from the belt to the stropping belt and they didn't overdo it. And let's look at that sharpening choil. And I detect absolutely no issues here. It's a little hard to get it in focus. As you can see on both sides, the sharpening choil is of the same width as the rest of the secondary bevel. The edge looks extremely good. Somebody who loves sharpening sharpened that knife. That's my conclusion. That weird sound was me trying to get a piece of paper towel off the roll. I'm not even gonna desecrate it with cutting printer paper. I'm going straight to untaught, basically free hanging paper towel. Hope you can see it. It gets right in and cuts right through. This will split hairs straight from the factory. I am follically challenged, but instead I'm gonna give you a 4-pound fishing line, which is about twice as thick as a human hair. If you enjoy my nerdy exploits, could you please hit the like button? Yeah. So it will whittle. Let me see. Do a better job here. There you go. It catches in and whittles the fishing line. And let's see if I can do it in the same spot again. Another thing you can do to help my channel is to copy the link to this video by hitting share. And I cut it too thin. Let me grab the other half. YouTube algorithm doesn't know what you do with the link, but it likes that you got it. Oh, it's trying. There's also a new button under the video called Hype. I'd appreciate if you did that too. And of course, huge thanks to those of you who are monthly members on my channel. Sure, it's me, not the knife. That's what every knife tuber says, don't they? There you go. I got this. So here you go. Whittling 11,000th of an inch fishing line from the factory. Another good demonstration of the knife's sharpness, you can try it at home with your sharpest knife, is to cut on this paper towel tube. The cardboard is very fibrous on these, and then there are glue spirals. So it's a pretty good challenge for any knife. And what is swirling in my head, for the blade to be that sharp, it has to be very well heat treated. That Rockwell hardness test will definitely happen. That video is coming up soon. I will release it to the channel members first, and after they had a chance to view it, in a couple of days, it will come out for general public. I am sorry if it doesn't sit right with you, but this is the only way I can show my sincere appreciation to those who contribute to the channel on a monthly basis. My channel is not affiliated with knife makers or knife retailers. I sort of pay my own way through these knives, my sharpening tools, and all the other stuff I show on my channel. So, to be viable, I have to ask for these acts of generosity. They humble and inspire me at the same time, so please consider becoming a member. A link will be in the description for the video.